What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Another episode of SimCity. Glad to have everyone back. We are building Las Vegas, as you all know. Gonna kind of keep it short this episode. Gonna show you some of the things that I've done since hanging up with the last episode. Kind of wanted to just change a couple small things, and that kind of led to spending about 3.5 hours in demolishing a good part of the city. And I'm gonna show you that here in a second on the few things that I've changed. Some of this stuff in the city, just real quick, it takes a lot longer to kind of fix when you're trying to keep something to scale. You change one small thing, and that leads to having to bulldoze the next thing, and then that leads to having to change the road, and then that leads to having to change the rail. So as opposed to kind of having a 3-hour long episode, I've kind of just gonna show you what I did, recap it, and hopefully this and maybe one more episode, I think I'm gonna try to put together a little a featured city type video here over this week, and show you guys the finished product at some point, in which I definitely hope you guys check that out. Even for those of you that haven't watched each and every episode throughout, I definitely want you all to check out this one and, of course, the final product. So let's get started. Now, we left off last episode. We kind of added a little bit of medium wealth down in here, and just tell you a couple of the issues that I've been having. Down here is doing fairly well. I had to add another school in. This school out here was completely jam-packed, and that's not an issue. Water has been an issue, and I had to actually, and I might move this whole compound here, I had to actually throw this down, and with it being, as you all know, a desert type region, it's water is quite scarce, and I've upped the amount of water that I've been using out over here, but that's not really doing much of anything. So I don't know if the game is just flat out broken, probably is, but the whole import export, volunteer, that whole program or whole part of the game, in my opinion, is kind of skewed. It works when it wants to, but all in all, I had to put this in along with a sewage treatment plant. We had some buildings that were attempting to come in, but they wouldn't come in because mainly, there was no water. So anyway, airport's doing pretty good. We're getting a lot of tourists. Nothing much has changed around here. Our New York part of the city is actually coming around really nicely. As you can see, we've got buildings upon buildings upon buildings, hotels upon hotels. They all seem... Oh, robbery in progress. Nice. I was going to say they all seem to be doing fairly well, but apparently not. Here at the Inn and Spa, robbery in progress. I love it. Police forces. I don't know. You probably guys want to see... I'm going to try to go over a lot of this episode, because I said the next episode is going to be more of a... kind of like a... I'm not going to be doing much talking. Let's put it that way. Education, crime, I don't know, building density, happiness. Let's check our population panels. Up to 36,000. This is a lie here as well. This whole visiting tab, it's a complete lie. We have a lot of unsatisfied low wealth shoppers, mainly because the majority of the shoppers, I don't know, these guys here, they're ticking me off. Even if you want to, and for those of you that are thinking about doing something like this, I definitely encourage it. Even if you're planning on doing, what you're doing here for the tourists, you still have to kind of keep, your workers at bay. For example, this little part of our city here, I know I keep showing it, but it's very simplistic, but at the same time, if everyone's unhappy, then you're not going to have enough workers to kind of fuel everything over here, and it's just going to kind of topple on down. So one thing that I went ahead and did, first off, and I'll show you the main feature here so far. I actually switched out. We had a Roman Luck Casino here, and it was doing all right, but where I had kind of plopped down the Elegant Casino in the last episode, if you guys want to flip back towards that, it just wasn't doing well. Like, I don't know. Maybe it was the water issue that I was having or what, but it seems like this one's not doing too well either, but yet again, I just plopped it down, so we'll give it a chance. Here we go. Here's what I featured, and I went ahead and for those of you that would like to consult my map, please take a look at the link in the description below. The Bellagio / the great fountains in Las Vegas that most everyone are used to are directly across the street from this Eiffel Tower or Paris, Las Vegas, or whatever you will. So I try to do as much as I can with the park paths and park benches and pedestrian paths, and this is what I actually came up with. Now, I think it looks really cool. The Bellagio in particular is kind of what this part of the city actually signifies. is actually just one lone standing hotel kind of right in the middle. And I actually tried that. I put a hotel here in the middle, and the whole area just looked kind of bland. So I went ahead and I kind of worked on this. And mind you, it took me quite a while to get this put together, and I think it looks awesome. I don't know about you all. Go ahead and slap that like button if you think this looks pretty cool. I definitely think it does. I had to demolish, rebuild about 10 times before I can get this the way I want it. And I'll show you a couple, couple quick wraparounds. The train, I'll have to actually fix these. It's actually like a little bug. You see how these cacti stand out like this? So what you actually have to do, for those of you that have the Trees Anywhere or Cacti Anywhere mod, I'll show you. When you go ahead and you try to essentially terraform the land in regards to train tracks or railroads, you have to actually replant these trees, and then they'll actually be where they should. The game isn't smart enough to know that when you terraform, you should be terraforming everything. So you gotta kind of actually added this nice little, see how they all are perfect now. So I'll have to go through and do those again, but I thought that was cool to kind of line the railroad tracks with some cacti. That's another thing I did. Pretty cool. Little things, people. I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna spend the rest of the week kind of fine tuning this stuff. But here, this is kind of the back end of it. So, like I said, I did what I can with the pedestrian paths as well as the fountains, and it's not much, but I think it's pretty cool, and you all get the idea. I was going to kind of put these fountains along the main road here, but I was having issues with the way they were kind of stacking amongst each other. So I decided to just draw a path, and not too many pedestrians are walking about, but I think it looks pretty sweet. And like I said, I added the pedestrian paths at nighttime. It looks pretty cool, but I'm going to actually save the nighttime for the cinematic that I'm putting through. I'm going to try to keep this during the daytime to keep it as dull as possible, so you all tune in for the next episode. But and then I threw in another Roman Le Casino. You guys might think I'm using too many Roman Le Casinos, but for me, they're definitely the most profitable, and they look a lot more to scale than the other hotels that there are, to choose from. Mind you, there's only 4 or 5 hotels, so the Roman Lux, I definitely look pretty cool. This is, I believe, resembles Caesar's Palace, just to scale. But again, if you want to consult the map below, it's in the description. I had a little bit of commercial zone over here where I actually was hoping there's like a Trump International Tower or something like that. I don't know if it's like in real life it's like a residential building or a business center. I'm really not too sure. I don't know too much about the building itself, but we were having some issues in regards to getting a tall building to spawn. So I went ahead and threw this down. Now, mind you, I wasn't even planning on putting the gambling HQ in, but I was running into another bug. I mean, still a year after. I don't mean to complain. Even a year after this game comes out. I know last episode, if you throw down that gambling HQ, even in sandbox mode, and you remove it, it kind of bugs this whole system out to the point where you can't add any of like the additional rooms or anything like that. For example, I wasn't able to add my Baccarat room. There was a few things I was unable to do until, of course, I threw this back down. And there was really no way around it. I didn't know of a way. So I decided to throw that down there. I think it actually fits well with the scenery. The only problem I kind of have with it is it's taller than our stratosphere. But, it is what it is. Everything is kind of bigger than it is in real life and smaller than it is in real life. But it is what it is. I think it's coming along fairly nicely. I'm still not done. I had to went ahead and put some of these other buildings in. I might move this type of stuff around. I'm not sure yet. And I can show you this tunnel here. I went ahead, and that's not really to scale because in real life it's actually above ground the whole way. But in order to kind of fit all this stuff in, I mean, these are small city plots. I mean, could you imagine if I had a railroad track through here? It's not going to be much room for anything else. So I sacrificed a little bit and drew the tunnel. That was actually more of a headache than it should have been, mainly because of the way the roads lay, and I don't know. And I think I demolished our highway, maybe? That was, honestly, I did not know that was gone, but I'll have to put our highway back in, because I guess I demolished that. I didn't realize when I did that. I don't know if I maybe did it this episode and you guys saw it. Well, I could put that back in, but our highway needs to go back in. And I want to kind of find another place for this. I don't know. I don't really like it. It doesn't fit well. But for the time being, like I said, more of our casinos and more of our landmarks, they were actually closing down, and it was kind of a minor catastrophe. So In the time of need, I threw it down, but again, I wanted to just kind of give you guys a short little episode here, just showing you where I'm at. And the other thing I did was I added another one of these walkways that go over the Las Vegas Boulevard, which is actually to scale. There are, I believe, like 4 or 5, or maybe even more of these, more or less to keep traffic moving in that heavy urban area in Las Vegas, and keep pedestrians safe from kind of cutting across the street and all that. So maybe I'll add a couple more in, depending. And like I said, I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna put the foliage in, add some more parks. This part of the city, I mean, I don't know. I mean, those of you guys, let me know what you think. I mean, what should I do out here? My thoughts are, and over here as well, in real life Las Vegas, I mean, there might be, maybe I can just do low density commercial. That's a thought. This way they're just kind of small shops in here, no buildings, like maybe downgrade these roads. Just because I don't want to take away from the grandeur of the Las Vegas Strip. And that's really what my focus is. When night falls, I don't want there to be like all these towers out here where, more people might be focused out here. I just kind of want the majority of it, the majority of the fun and the lights to be right along the Las Vegas Strip, which is exactly, how it is in real life. So, let me know in the comments below what you guys think I should do with this dead space out here. And I don't know, like I said, there's a few things I need to do, but more or less, I mean, the city is, for the most part, in my opinion, nearing completion. Maybe there's a few more hours of tinkering around to do, but all in all, I think it's come out, for the most part, pretty nice. Maybe some balancing, budget balancing, and I mean, we'll wrap this one up. We'll put it in the bag. So thanks so much for everyone's support lately in the videos. I definitely appreciate it. I'll read all the comments. If you that have ideas for my next Let's Build It series, or my next, SimCity series, let me know in the comments below. I'd like to see your thoughts. Been meaning to do something like this for quite some time, and just so happened to get around to it. So, thanks again for tuning in, everybody, and we'll see you next time.